Ah, IDOS, our old friend. Deus Ex Mankind Divided continues the story of well-known character Adam Jensen, who is
A half-man, half-machine person known as an augment. This game takes up 2 years after the events of Deus Ex Human Revolution.
Hope you guys are paying attention. There's going to be a quiz on this.
I'm the fact checker.
Yeah, I'm too lazy to Google it.
The story takes place in 2029. In this near future, the human race has been split right down the center thanks to the Aug incident, in which augmented humans became randomly violent. This was, however, an arranged incident to turn the world against them, and sadly it worked, as most regular humans fear their mechanized infused counterparts. Meanwhile, Jensen, our main hero, joins forces with a special task force. On his first mission, he's assigned to help apprehend a weapons smuggler. However, after the operation goes tits up, Jensen detects that there is more going on than meets the eye. And that was just the main synopsis. Throughout this ride, you'll be confronted with dialogue trees and different path options that can lead you to a variety of side missions. This will make every player's experience slightly different from one another. Overall, it is great cyberpunk stuff. Though I couldn't help but notice some similarities in the story to one of my personal favorite anime.
Oh, will you knock it off, Gene?
What?
Not everything is a ripoff of Ghost in the Shell!
Says the ripoff of Angry Joe. I'm not taking it back.
The game's story deals with a lot of heavy subjects that are very relevant to today's world, such as capitalism, bigotry, terrorism. All of that stuff is located within the game's script here. The nice thing about video games is that they can bring up these touchy topics and discuss them, but still coded in a way that makes the experience entertaining. The characters and settings are all interesting, heightened by some pretty lengthy cutscenes that are quite entertaining to watch. If you did not play Human Revolution, fret not, as you have the option of watching a 12-minute recap video of the game's previous events to help you bring up to speed, and it's all really nicely fleshed out. Well, except for one thing, and that is Adam Jensen himself. Okay, this is just our opinion, but we're not all that impressed with Adam. I mean, it's not like he's a bad character or anything, but he really does fall into the category of being cliché. Well, to us at least. The scruffy loner who doesn't play well with others, and when he talks, he sounds like Christian Bale's Batman or any character Steve Blum has voiced.
You've obviously landed on your feet, though, unlike a lot of other people. This calibrator you need, what is it exactly?
I want to know about bears and rabbits.
The game incorporates a first-person, third-person view kind of gameplay, and for the majority of the game, you are seeing things behind the eyes of Adam Jensen. But when you go to covering behind objects, the game suddenly switches to third person. As Adam Jensen, you have at your disposal a host of weaponry, as you should, being a first-person game. You start off with your standard handgun, but along the way you can pick up machine guns, shotguns, rifles, just to name a few. Which, hey, you can always customize them on the fly as well. You can acquire these weapons from enemies when you take them down via silent takedowns or by besting a cap in their head, not to mention scavenging their bodies for more ammo. More goodies include throwable objects like grenades for taking out groups of enemies, finding keycards to open up doors, and alcohol for getting drunk? Oh, okay. All of this is done through the game's menu management system, which is very similar to the Resident Evil series. And the high focus on game management is important, as you're definitely going to have to pick and choose what to take and what to leave behind. It's all about making sure that you don't run out of supplies that you're going to need, in order to make sure that your missions are a little easier to navigate.
But Adam's ace in the hole is his augmentations. These include an invisible cloak, spread missile attacks, X-ray vision, concussion blasts, etc. But that is just the tip of the iceberg. You'll have to manage them all, as you can only have a certain amount activated at a time. You'll have to keep an eye on the energy bar as well, but they are fun to use, and they can get you out of a tight spot if used appropriately. And of course, as you go through the game, you will gain XP that will allow you to upgrade and unlock more abilities. Despite this though, this game has a very distinct Metal Gear feeling to it, as really the best way to get around is with the stealth element. Now, by and large, you will come across big areas filled with opposition. Muscling through them really is not the best option. So by using the cover system, you can maneuver around corners, hide behind obstructions, and choose where to dash to, hopefully undetected. If you do get detected, however, well, you will get swarmed and you can get taken out pretty quickly. That can really get frustrating because this game unfortunately does have some pretty long load times. However, if you do manage to hide long enough, the enemy will eventually forget all about you and return to their posts.
Love that. Another big aspect of this game is the hacking element. In order to gain access to certain areas, you will have to hack into systems and play a game of, well, connect the dots, while avoiding incoming defensive measures. You can also use this to open up computers to gain more information as well. A side element in this game, separate from the main story that is called Breach. In this, you take on the role of yourself, actually, as you hack your way into a corporate structure. While doing so, you will take out guards, steal data, and escape to move on to the next area. It's based on a section in the story where Adam breaks into his boss's files while looking for clues. To us, though, this part was just kind of there, and we didn't really find it too interesting to play. But like we said, it is not a part of the main game, so it's not that big of a deal. To us, anyway. Deus Ex Mankind Divided is an interesting and intriguing blend. Not only is the main story fun to follow, but the side missions are enjoyable as well, thanks in large part to the settings and the characters. The gameplay is well carried by the stealth and the combat, with its blend of gunplay and augmented attacks. The hacking and investigating also play their part well as well.
Mankind Divided is another game that was hyped up this year, but unlike other offerings that will remain nameless at this time, this game does manage to live up to it. So, we give this game a high recommendation, but what we don't recommend, however, is Square Enix's attempts to nickel and dime buyers with their additional microtransactions. Now, we all know about their ridiculous augment your pre-order pyramid scheme that they attempted last year, thankfully thanks to the fierce backlash that was cancelled. But that didn't stop them from trying to find other ways to get some extra bucks in their pockets. We won't go into detail here, but you can check out Jim Sterling's videos about this subject. It's really sad that this has become the norm for so many video game companies. It really is a shame that Square Enix is soiling the reputation of their own products this way, just for the sake of making more money.
Hey man, how else do you think that they're going to get back all of the money that they lost on Final Fantasy?
Good point. You know, I actually bought Human Revolution a couple years ago, but I haven't had a chance to play it yet. I think I'm going to do that right now. Hey, do you think you can handle the outro without me?
Oh, I'll try.
Cool.
Anyway, thank you for watching the Brotherhood of Gaming video game show. I'm your host, William Morris.
I'm your co-host, Eugene Morris.
Nobody cares. Hey, before you go, please hit that big red subscribe button. There's a lot of great content here, I'm sure you know. I mean, you can clearly see all the playlists over there, from Tomb Raider speedruns or speedruns in general to a Sega vs. SNES series going on down there. Video game reviews, a Tales of Retrospective series, which covers the history of the Tales of series by Namco Bandai. And hey, there's always room for top 10s in there as well. So, thank you guys for joining. We hope you enjoyed the show, and I need a drink.